Good morning, Duluth Middle School parents. I hope that you're having a great Sunday. I'm sorry to interrupt your weekend, but there are so many things to talk about, and I just didn't want to wait until the week started. This is a really big week coming up for you. You are getting this email with this video because you have indicated that you will be sending your sixth grader to school this Wednesday, August 26th, for in-person instruction. So there are lots of things to go over, and I actually had a bad anxiety dream about all this stuff last night, so I knew that I needed to get it out to you guys so that I felt a little bit better and I felt like you knew everything that you needed to know. I will put this all in an email, and you already should have gotten a big email from the school, but you can't hear too much about this because it's a big deal. First of all, I'm really, really excited to see your kids. I know that this has been a hard and crazy time for many of you, and your babies have not been in a school building since March, and your babies in particular haven't been to our building. So this is an extra difficult, emotional, and stressful roller coaster, and I get it. So I hope that together we can work through making it as easy as possible for you and for your kids. So here are some really important things for you to know. First of all, my name is Cindy Kinchin. I'm the principal at Duluth, and I really hope that you've seen me or talked to me or at least know my face by now. I try to communicate as much as I can, and it's very important to me to be out in the community with you. But I'm thrilled that you're here, and I'm thrilled to work with you. So first of all, numbers in terms of who is coming back. We have about 50% of our sixth graders coming back. So we are expecting 245 students on Wednesday. We do not know if you're coming on bus or if you're coming in car. We have an idea, but it's not a very good estimate. So we are ready to accept our kids both in the car rider lane at the front of the school and in the bus lane. If you are dropping off your student on Wednesday, you have to come at 8:20. We don't have anybody to watch your kids before 8:20. So do not come before 8:20, but it's better around 8:50 because that's when the buses arrive as well. We will see you at the front of the building, and on the first day, we will take your child's name and assign you a car rider number so that when you come pick up your child, all we have to do is call a number when we see your car, and hopefully that will make the process faster. We will give your kids a squirt of hand sanitizer when they get out of the car. They will get out of the car and go into the building, and if they are 8:20 or after, they will go to the cafeteria and sit very spaced apart in the cafeteria, and they will be watched by a teacher. They will grab their breakfast at a kiosk in the cafeteria. Everything will be individually wrapped. And at 8:50, they will go to their homeroom and they will eat their breakfast in their homeroom. Same exact process applies if kids come at 8:50 or at 9 in the car rider lane. Parents cannot get out of the cars and come into the building. It's just not something that we can accommodate safely. That would make way too many bodies in the building at one time. So I'm sorry, parents, you'll have to give them a big squeeze when you leave the house, and then let us take care of them after that. And I promise you that we'll take the best care of them. So kiddo gets out, gets a squirt of hand sanitizer, parent drives off until you come back for pickup at 4 o'clock. Once they get into the classroom, they will eat in homeroom, and then they will go about their daily schedule. If they're on the bus, they will come off 2 buses at a time. They will go right to their breakfast kiosk and go straight to their homeroom to eat their breakfast. The bus kids don't go to the cafeteria at all because they do not come early. Then we will get started with our day. I want to say something very important about masks. Masks are required for all students, for all staff. Everybody in the building will have a mask on all day. It is very important that the mask covers the nose and the mouth. If the babies have it underneath the nose, we will remind them all the time to pull it over their nose. And also, the CDC has said that masks that have the port in them, or the little filter on the front that make it a little bit easier to breathe, those masks are not effective. So you may not send those masks with your kids. Please send masks that are completely solid across the front. You can't have a crocheted mask that you knitted, that you made at home. I'm sure it's beautiful, but it allows the air to get in, and they are not effective at all. If your kiddos come to school with a mask that is not safe or appropriate, we are going to ask them to put that mask away, and we are going to hand them one of the medical paper masks, and we will have those at school so that we can do that easily. Make sure that your kids don't have anything inappropriate on the front of their masks. No guns, no weapons, no profanity, no nudity, and no political statements at all. No one at school, none of the teachers are wearing any sort of slogans that are political or offensive on their masks, and so the kids won't wear those either. If they do have one, we will simply ask them to take it off, and we will give them a paper mask. If for whatever reason your kiddo does not want to wear a mask and refuses to wear a mask, we will call you and have you pick up your child, and then we're going to talk to you about a digital option, because masks are just not optional. So if you want them at school, they need to be in a mask all day long, an appropriate one. They will take them off when they eat lunch in their classroom, and then we will also take little breaks throughout the day where we might go outside and take one big long walk around the campus and take our mask off while we're doing that, if we can be appropriately spaced, because I know they're not comfortable. I don't like wearing mine either, but I know that I have to, because keeping your kids and my teachers safe is my utmost priority right now. So that's a little note about masks. Water. The water fountains at schools have been turned off. So it's very important that you send your babies with a filled water bottle. It can be a plastic water bottle. It can be one of the metal ones that is refillable. There are sinks in the science classrooms, so they can refill it in their science sinks throughout the day if they need to. But they definitely won't have enough water at school if they don't bring their own. So please, please send them with some water. It's hot, and they'll be so uncomfortable if they don't have water all day long. I know that many of you have asked about school supplies. When you were doing digital, you needed very little, but now you might need a little bit more. So we're going to have your teachers let you know what types of school supplies are needed. And we will also post those lists on the Duluth Middle School website when we have them ready. One thing you definitely are going to want to send with your student is maybe a little bottle of hand sanitizer for his or her own self, and that won't be sharing it with anybody. Their own hand sanitizer is a great idea. We will have a box of gloves in every classroom, but if you want to send gloves with your kids, that's perfectly fine too. Okay, this is very, very, very important, and also kind of exciting in a way. We are going to try to start operating like a one-to-one school. What that means is that every student in our school will have their own device. We have distributed 800 of our computers to the community. Of the group that's coming back on Wednesday, of you guys, 133 of you guys have checked out a Chromebook. What I need, and this is extremely important, is that when you send your students back to school on Wednesday, they bring that Chromebook with them, and they bring the charger. We are going to ask the students who didn't borrow a Chromebook, please, to also bring your devices. So if your students have their own laptop at home, please, please, please send it to school on Wednesday and every day after that with their charger. They will use only their device at school. We're trying to do this so that there's no sharing of devices, so that the germs on the fingertips belong only to your student and not to anybody else. So the 133 of you who borrowed a Chromebook, please bring it with you, and it'll go back and forth every day, just like your book bag. And if you did not borrow a Chromebook and you have your own laptop or device at home, even if it's an iPad, please bring it to school on Wednesday. That will help us so much. And we have a few computers left at school that we can check them out to the rest of the kids who weren't able to bring a device from home. But we really need this to work, and I'll tell you why. Our teachers are going to be teaching two groups of kids at the same time. They're going to have anywhere from 12 to 20 kids in front of them right there in the classroom, which are your kids. And then they're going to have anywhere from 10 to 15 kids sitting in the computer, which is the digital kids. It's what you've been doing for the last 8 days. It is extremely difficult for teachers to teach those two different groups of kids at one time. I don't know if you can even imagine such a thing, but it is hard. It's a lot. So if we can make sure that every student at school has their own computer, then the teacher can continue to do the super cool digital teaching that they've been doing, but they have a group of kids right there in front of them that will get extra assistance and physical help. And then they will also have the kids at home who are following along on the computer, but they don't have to plan two different lessons because they're only one person. They can't do two different things with two different groups of kids at the same time. So having devices for the kids at school is going to be very, very important. You might be wondering, or you might have heard of other schools where there are going to be teachers who are all digital or teachers who are all face-to-face. That's fine. The problem with that is that if I take away all my face-to-face kids from a class so that a teacher can be all digital, I have to put those kids somewhere else. And what that does is that makes those classes big. So your kids would be sitting in a class of 30 instead of a class of 15. And there is nobody right now that wants to put 30 kids in a room. I know I don't. So it's really important for you to understand why we're doing the things we're doing. And the only way that I can ensure some space between your kids is if the teacher has the kids in front of her or him and the kids in the computer. It's the best way to keep things safe, because what we don't want is to close down in a week because people are getting sick. So help me on this, please, and send your laptops and your devices to school so that the teachers can continue to do the amazing work that they were doing, teaching those both of those audiences. The last thing I'm going to tell you, I know I've been talking to you for way too long, is that right now in the world, it is very important to keep your kids at home if they are not feeling well. We don't know if it's COVID. We don't know if it's not COVID. We do know that COVID looks very different in different people. Some people never get sick. Some people get super sick. Some people get a headache. Some people throw up. People get a fever. Some people get a cough. It looks different every time. So if your child is not 100% perky, please keep them home. If they are not 100% perky at school, we are going to call you and we need you to come get them. We cannot talk about whether it's COVID or it's not COVID because we don't know. I am not a doctor. I am a teacher. So I am not going to be making any decisions about whether a student has COVID. I'm just going to ask you to work with me and work with the school and take your kiddo home until they're feeling 100% perky. The great news is that when they're home, all they have to do is open their computer and they have their teacher right there teaching, so they don't miss a beat. So please work with us on that. We are not going to take any chances because I want your kids and my teachers to be safe. I know that this video has been way too long and I'm so sorry, but I feel so much better telling you some of these things. We will work this out together. We have the most amazing teachers in the world, and your kids and you guys are amazing as well. I've really enjoyed popping in and out of their digital classes, and I know that your kiddos are just the cutest ever. So thank you for sending them to us. We will do our very best. It's not going to be perfect. It's going to be messy. We're going to mess up. Some of our plans won't work, but we will be flexible and we will fix them and do the absolute best we can and love on your kids from afar. I will miss being able to hug them. I will miss being able to be close to them and high five them and kiss them, but we just can't. So school's going to feel different and look different until the world is safe and healthy, but we will do the very, very best we can. Thank you for your support, and I will see some of you maybe in the car rider lane on Wednesday. Please email me at any time if there's anything I can do for you. And I'm sorry it took 15 minutes of your Sunday. Bye.